Today, we are going to talk about a massive shift in how we need to think about quality. And I'm not talking about just, more compliance or tougher inspections. This is about completely tearing down the old idea and building something new. So imagine this. You're in your first big meeting with the new VP of quality, and she stands up and says this: "My goal is to eliminate the quality department." I mean, talk about a shocker, right? Your first thought is probably, okay, here come the budget cuts, or maybe she's just joking. But what if I told you that's actually the most strategic, most brilliant thing a quality leader could possibly say today? So yeah, why on earth would she say that? That's the big question we're going to unpack right now. Because that one sentence, it pulls the thread on a huge underlying problem with how most companies have been handling quality for decades. See, the problem isn't quality itself, of course not. It's the whole idea of quality with a capital Q, as this separate, walled-off thing. The VP's statement, it's really a signal that the system is fundamentally broken. For way too long, the quality department has been treated like its own little island, a functional silo. It became this place with its own language, its own systems, and its own specialists who supposedly own quality. And what's the result of that? Well, everybody else thinks quality is someone else's job. It becomes a team of inspectors at the end of the line, measuring defects after the fact, instead of preventing them from ever happening. And this leads to a massive communication problem. Honestly, the word quality has just lost its punch in the boardroom. When you say quality to an executive, they don't hear customer value or competitive advantage. They hear cost center. It sounds tactical, defensive, and expensive. All they see are piles of paperwork for an audit, not innovation and growth. It's a conversation about compliance, not about winning. Okay, so if the old model is busted, what's the fix? Well, it's not just about slapping a new name on the department. It's about a total reframe of the entire concept. We've got to move it from being a silo to being a core part of the business itself. And this new model has a name: Integrated Process Excellence, or IP. Now, it's really, really important to get this. IP is not just another buzzword for quality management. No, it's a business management model. The core idea is that excellence isn't something you check for at the end. It's something you design into every single process from the get-go. It's built in, not inspected in. And this table just lays out the shift so perfectly. In the old world, the goal was just conformance. Did we check the box? In the new world of IPE, the goal is business performance. Did we win? We're moving from reactive audits and fixes to real-time predictive control. And look at ownership. This is huge. It moves from being the quality department's problem to being the process owner's responsibility. The people doing the work own the outcome. The motto is no longer just meet the bare minimum requirements, it's let's get better every single day. Now, that all sounds fantastic in a presentation, right? But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's go back to that story about the VP, the one who wanted to blow up her own department. Okay, so this actually happened at a big medical device company. And remember, this is an industry where compliance is everything. The stakes are incredibly high. And yet, even with a massive quality department, they were still dealing with product recalls and bad audit findings. So the new VP comes in and announces her plan. We are going to integrate quality so deeply into this business that we won't need a separate department anymore. And you can just imagine the reaction. It was immediate panic. Middle managers were freaking out. They were so used to that quality safety net. Their fear was real, They were thinking, wait a minute, if you guys don't check this, who will? Who's going to be the gatekeeper? But her response just gets right to the core of this whole philosophy. She said, the riskiest thing we can do is keep believing that we can inspect excellence into a product. It's just not possible. An inspection just finds a defect that's already there. It doesn't prevent it. The real work is creating a process that doesn't make defects in the first place. And the results? Well, they speak for themselves. Within 3 years, the headcount in the quality department dropped by 40%. And these weren't layoffs. That's the key. These people were redeployed into operations, into engineering. They became coaches who were building quality into the system. And what happened? Audit findings plummeted. The CEO actually started telling investors, quality is no longer a department here. It's who we are. What a transformation. That whole story reveals another massive mindset shift we have to make. See, traditional quality is completely obsessed with failure, finding it, fixing it, preventing it. But modern business management, it's about something else entirely. It's about understanding and then replicating success. And you can see this perfectly in the difference between two tools. You've probably heard of FMEA, Failure Mode and Effects Analysis. It's all about asking what can go wrong. It's a risk prevention tool. But there's this newer idea, SMEA, Success Modes and Effects Analysis, that just flips the whole script. It asks a much more powerful question. What must go right?
Let's dig a little deeper here. FMEA is totally problem-driven. Its output is a big list of risk controls. But SMEA, it's strengths-driven. It focuses on best practices, on the things that enable success. And its output isn't a list of problems to avoid. It's a success playbook, a repeatable guide for how to achieve excellence every single time. It's about creating positives, not just avoiding negatives.
Think about a software team. When their manager asked them to list everything that could possibly go wrong with a new release, they filled a whole whiteboard in minutes. They were brilliant at predicting failure. But then he asked, okay, now tell me what absolutely must go right for this to be a huge success. And the whole conversation changed. The list was shorter, but much more powerful. Clear requirements, mandatory peer reviews, automated testing. They realized excellence doesn't just happen. It's not about avoiding bad luck. It's about being incredibly intentional and disciplined about creating good outcomes. And this brings us to this amazing analogy from a pharmaceutical company. So many organizations treat compliance like they're cramming for a final exam. You know, they study hard for a week, they rehearse all the answers, they clean everything up, and they just hope they pass the audit. But the second the auditor leaves, everything goes right back to the way it was. So the real question for any leader is this. Are you just building a system to pass the test? Or are you building a resilient system that learns and improves every single day of the year? Okay, so how do you actually put all this into practice? Let's boil this all down into a clearer, actionable playbook for any leader who wants to manage quality in this new, modern era.
All right, here are the core principles. Number 1, stop thinking of quality as a department. It's an enterprise-wide system that everyone owns. 2, get out of the passing the test mindset and move to continuous learning. 3, use your data to be predictive, to see failures before they happen, not just react to them. 4, anchor everything in what your customer actually values, not just what's written on a spec sheet. And finally, and this is the big one, embed all of this into your company's DNA, its culture, and its strategy.
And that brings us right back to the final critical question that you've got to be asking yourself and your team. Are you building a system just to pass the test once a year? Or are you building a true culture of lifelong learning? Because one of those gives you a week of relief. The other one, well, the other one gives you resilience, innovation, and customer trust that will last a lifetime.